Jorge Gomez was posing absolutely no threat to them. They hunted him down and murdered him in the street like an animal.
Right now, protesters rallying outside of the Clark County Government Center as investigators present their findings into the shooting of Jorge Gomez. He was killed by police during last year's George Floyd protests. Now, this fact-finding review is designed to inform the public after the DA's initial decision to not bring charges on the officers. 13 Action News reporter Sean Delancey has been out there all morning, and he joins us live right now with investigators' findings from that night. Sean?
Yeah, Kalina, the chants from the protesters here outside of the Clark County Government Center could be heard inside of the hearing room where they are talking about this case right now. So far, we have seen messages from Jorge Gomez to other protesters, new video angles from the shooting, and heard statements from several officers who are either involved in the shooting or nearby. Now, warning here, you might hear language or see some video that could be disturbing to you. Officer Jason Leavitt, was the chief investigator from the force investigation into this shooting and was the only witness in this fact-finding review. Leavitt says that they reviewed texts and messages from Gomez where he told others that he had been left alone at earlier protests because he was armed, encouraged violent protests over peaceful ones and the wearing of body armor, and told others to be, quote, ready for a war. During the review, Leavitt says that Metro officers protecting the federal building had fired several less than lethal rounds towards Gomez when he didn't at first comply. Then 4 officers shot at Gomez when he ran towards the officers, running away from those less than lethal rounds. 3 of the officers told investigators that Gomez was raising his rifle when they fired. One said that he thought Gomez was already shooting at police because less than lethal rounds were being shot at him.
That weapon is the sound of a shotgun being fired. That's correct. And especially in an area that has buildings adjacent to it, the sound's going to echo. It would be indistinguishable between, I believe it would be indistinguishable between a regular shotgun and this being fired. As you heard in the one video that we played, you could hear that those being fired first, the lethal rounds being fired second. And I think it would be very difficult for anybody to distinguish between the two.
Now, Leavitt did play newly released videos of the moments leading up to and after the shooting. There is no angle proving whether Gomez actually raised his rifle just before he was shot. Leavitt says if alive, Gomez would be facing several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. Now, it is important to note here that a final decision on whether to charge these officers will happen in 2 weeks. And that'll be coming from DA Steve Wolfson. Now, Wolfson will make that final decision in 2 weeks, but it's worth noting that after 85 of these reviews that have already happened, no charges have been filed against any officer involved in the reviews. Sean Delancey, 13 Action News.
Sean, thank you so much for that update.